primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already had proved very useful. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete.
The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish.
Hello, hello. We're going to be getting on with some beating. So we're going to be doing more of these guys here. I've got to do the skin of this dude up here on his head here. We've got a very, very kind of pink skin for this guy, so that's what we're going to kind of go for. Throw down some nice strong pink using some Vallejo pink there. We'll also get some rose on there. Give that a good old mix. What I wouldn't mind doing is perhaps getting a little bit of a... Well, we'll go over with the purple later. But for now, that's how we're going to begin this one. Already just kind of missed my mark a little bit there. So we'll let that one dry for a minute. There's some of the face there that we also have to get. Hey there, how's it going, man? It's good to see your work. I know we're kind of like jumping in and be like, oh, maybe you should try this, maybe you should try this, but to be honest, like, your work is looking great. And you're really coming along a lot there, VX. It's super. I didn't want to, like, information dump you too much when I was giving the feedback and things, but it's looking super. Like, the difference from that first model to the model you're doing at the moment is, you know, night and day. It really is. So you're doing good, man. In a little bit, I'll go over the stuff I was talking about. I'll kind of show you. I'll try and demonstrate where I think, from what I can see from the results, where maybe some, like, you know, brush strokes are causing you problems, and how to maybe try and approach those brush strokes in a different way. So that's kind of what we're trying to approach today. Because I know, what was it? So, name is Bryn, was it? Who was it? Oh, we got a new person on. Oh, Amber Bulldog is joining the Discord. I'll welcome him. What was it? It's changed it to her. No, it's just. Ah, that's right. It's just hiding the names because of streaming at the moment. But hi, my name is Brent. I think it was. Yeah, I mean the execution comes with practice. As long as you're kind of aware of it, then it just comes down to physical practice. And so it's like practice with awareness is the thing that makes you grow the fastest in anything you're doing, in my opinion. Like, you can be good at something but not improve because you're not being aware of the things that you need to improve at. But yeah. Okay. I don't know. Oh, maybe just I don't know. I don't know Admiral Bulldog. I don't know. There's just I just got a welcome from Admiral Bulldog. And he's a verified Twitch and Kick streamer. Yeah. I don't know. I have to check him out. Maybe just a fan, yeah. If he's a Dota streamer, this one I don't think is a Dota streamer because this Admiral Bulldog says verified. Well, it says verified Twitch and Kick streamer, so maybe. I don't know. I don't know. He's impossible. But yeah. I doubt I have just a huge streamer, just a huge Dota streamer, just jumping on my painting channel and joining my Discord. That would be kind of peculiar for me, anyway. Peculiar for me. It'd be very nice if it is, but all right, we're gonna throw down a wash because this guy's actually dried pretty much. Maybe. But no, yeah. Right, I'm gonna get one of my old brushes. This one's just kind of like a. This is supposed to be a wolf hairbrush, but to be honest, I think it's got a lot of synthetic in there as well. It has that curly tip at the end. And we're just going to throw on a purple wash, just kind of darken this a little bit. Especially in the edges. There we go. Throw this down. There we go. recesses if I can. And bring it back up again afterwards. It's maybe a bit heavy. There we go. That should be okay. Do you always go from paint to whipping to the miniature? Whipping, do you mean like wiping? What, sorry, I'm not sure what you mean by whipping. I generally, if you mean like when I'm like wick my brush and things, I usually tend to wick my brush, because if you have that, if there's too much in your in the body of your brush, then when you place it, you can't control it so much. Yeah, wicking. Yeah, I generally always wick. So my hand as I go, it was just, I use my hand to wick a lot of the time. I find that a lot easier to do. Okay, all right, let me just see. I do a little bit on this one. I'm going to be doing his little cloth things. I'm going to highlight them. So I've got this right now. I've got this over here. I got this, what's the blueberry, the purple here. I still got it quite thick on there. I'm not really thinning it down very much, to be honest. It's still quite thick. I don't really mind too much, but I'm just going to wick it a little bit like this. As I wick it, I twist. Helps to keep the point. The paint will hold the brush together to help keep the point. And then it's not too thick on there. You can see like it's not going to glob too much. Okay. And then the thing that I was talking about was always going in the same direction. So I'm going to imagine the light is going to be strongest at the top here. So I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm just going to work my way up. I'm going to start my lightness here. So I just pull that up, pull that up, pull that up, pull that up. I don't go up and down, I just pull it up on this model. I might go a little bit further down, just catching a little bit of that edge. When I do an edge, I'm using the edge of my brush as well. I'm not using the point of my brush. The point of the brush is very, very difficult to aim, if you see what I mean. Not flat surfaces. Yeah, flat surfaces can be difficult. So, always the same direction, same direction, same direction, same direction. So I'm going up, I lift off, I come back to the bottom, I lift up again. Basically, I'm pulling the paint towards the lightest point. What I kind of noticed on some of your minis was there's this kind of blobbing, and it looks like there's brush strokes going in different directions. And that's what might be causing it. I'm going to try it on my test mini to kind of show that in a second. But again, like I'm going back and forth on this a few times because I'm building up that layer as well, making it stronger. It also depends on the paint you're using and the consistency of it and how it acts as well. I don't know what particular paint you're using at the moment, what brand and things. But that sometimes has an effect as well on what it's like. Sometimes some paints are just not so great as others. I have hit and miss with blues. So let's pull out our test model here. Our poor Ravenwing Space Marine who gets kind of ritually abused with paint. We've got this dude. So let me just do like one of the panels over here. And we'll do one panel like good there and one panel bad somewhere. I'll find a spot. So let's try and do a bit of your blue. So I'm going to pull out. Cool. Yeah, I really swear by that AK interactive set. I think it's really, really good. If only I could get commission from him. I will probably try and make a YouTube video about that paint set. I really love it. It's been hard to kind of do YouTube at the moment because I'm just so busy with work. but let's just throw down some blue, some dark blue. Oh, because Spain is the heart of miniature painters. Like, in terms of like the creme de la creme of painters. Like where it comes to like display level painting, I think Spain has the most and the best painters. And AK Interactive is, yeah, they're a Spanish company, and they often get, I think for that particular set as well, Jose Da Vinci picked out the colors and things. And Jose Da Vinci, check out his YouTube, he's amazing. There was another there was another streamer who recommended it to me when they came onto the channel. They were like, have you checked out Jose Da Vinci? I was like, no, I haven't. I was like, you should, it's really good. And yeah, I was like, wow, this guy's now like one of my favorite YouTubers. In terms of YouTubers where I can learn a lot from, Jose Da Vinci and Marco Frizzoni. Those two are probably my favorite in terms of actually learning techniques and things like that, and them being good teachers. They're really, really good. If I want to watch a master at work, I watch Sergio Calvo. Another fantastic miniature painter. But yeah, the Spanish are really good. They're my favorite. They're kind of like very high contrast, very heavy in the color theory and things like that. And so I try to emulate where I can. Obviously that's very dependent on my ability is not really there, but I enjoy it. So okay, let's just have a go at this. So hello there, Rascals Hobbies. Welcome. How you doing? So you can kind of see where we've got that dark blue there. I'm going to take this blue here. Let's thin it down a little bit. We'll take a touch of water, and we can thin it down a fair bit. So you can see it's pretty glazy on my palette. Here's the brush. I'm just going to wick it again, spinning as I go to keep the point sharp. This brush is rather nice because the body's quite big, but the point is fine. Yeah. Jose Da Vinci is fantastic. He goes in such detail as well. Now, what I think you were doing in the pictures that I saw was, let's say I want to draw, like, the light is going to come from the darkest point is down here. I'm gonna come up to here. This is where I want it lightest. Okay. What I think you've been doing, from what I could see, is like you're just kind of like coloring it in like this almost. And you're doing this, and what's happening is you can see the inconsistency of the brush strokes. You see, is it like you can see where it's thin and thick in all different areas, and where it changes from one color to the next is very, very sudden, and you can see like the paint line. You can see this line coming right down here. That's how I feel like you've been perhaps painting, from what I could see. There's a little bit of going back and forth. So, all right, welcome Rascals Minute. Yeah, Rascals Hobbies, if you're new, fantastic. This is good because we're basically going over some things here. Fiex is also a very new painter, but he's making leaps and bounds of improvements. He's doing an absolutely fantastic job. We're just kind of going over one of his latest pieces. Let me actually, if you're okay, Fiex, I'm going to just show it on the Discord just to show Rascals Hobbies so he can kind of follow along with us and see where we're kind of going with this. Let's see here. Let me just pull up. Here we go. Let's see here. Sorry, it's just going to take me a hot minute just to make sure I've got this. Okay. We'll do that. Let me just pull this out a little bit. Oh, it's not pulling out. Come on, bigger. Why won't you go bigger? Okay, you can kind of see there. this is the model here. Thank you, FAX. But yeah. Yeah, I got a Discord as well, so you're more than welcome to join the Discord. That's a good place to ask questions, throw up your work, and we can talk about it as well. I'm happy to help people whenever I get a chance to jump on and discuss it as well. So yeah, throw out the Discord there. That should have brought up the Discord. Why didn't that not? Why did that not come up? Hold on, my bot might have just died or something. Well, I'll make sure it's turned on in a second. So this is. Oh, thank you very much, Rascals. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for the sub. I'm going to be releasing a video, hopefully in a week, of me painting the giant dragon that I've painted recently. That should be a fun one if I get that edited. But if we have a look at like this fin up here, you can see it's kind of a bit blotchy. You can see that the paint is thinned pretty well, because you can still see a transition, which you're showing like this nice transition that's starting to appear, but it's still a bit blotchy, and you can kind of see the line where that transition happens from thick paint to the underpaint. And so we want to kind of reduce this amount of kind of the blotchiness here and make it a bit of a smoother transition. So I'm going to try and show how to do that. Okay, that's basically where we're going with that. Let me just bring back my my screen here, and let me just try and just very quickly, I've got to jump onto my my Streamlabs stuff. Come on. Hopefully I can log in. Alright, hold on a second. No. I don't know why my YouTube stuff auto plays there. Be with you in just a second. Sorry, bear with me. I'm just really slow at doing this bit. I haven't been onto my Streamlabs thing for a while. So let me just log in very quickly. Oh, why is it not going to log in? Oh, I'll log in with Twitch. There we go. Keep me on. For some reason, it just turns off my bot every so often. So I've got to fix that to get the Discord up. Just bear with me a second. It doesn't seem to want to log in for me. Are you kidding me? My browser's not supported? Oh, Jesus, come on, Google then. Maybe you can help me out here. It's either that or maybe I can do it through this. Yeah, it's, oh my God, it's just, I've never had it do that before. So let me just see if I can load up my CloudBot this way. Not then that way maybe. Okay. I got on with this here. Let me just make sure my CloudBot is on. And yep, my CloudBot is off for some obscure reason. I don't know why it automatically turns it off from time to time. So it should be on now. So if we throw in our Discord, let's throw it up now. There we go. There's the Discord link. It may pop up in a little bit on YouTube by itself. I got a thing where it automatically pops up in a bit, but you may see that come up. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. It was just taking a little while. But yeah. So as you can see here, it's kind of a bit wishy-washy, a bit similarly, like a bit blotchy. You can see that line across there. So when I talk about things like brush control, what I am talking about is, if we put our base coat down, let's just do it over here. We're going to throw this bit here. And so this panel here, we're going to want to try and get a smooth transition as best as we can. A couple of things that we can do is, I think you thinned your paints actually pretty well. It's maybe that you don't have a transitional color that's in there, and so you're going from a too darker blue to a too lighter blue too suddenly, and that's what's causing you a bit of a problem. Oh, thank you very much, Rascals. I very rarely use Facebook, but thank you very much. I'll definitely add you because I've got like 0 friends on Facebook under my thing because I just never use it. But yeah. We've got that layer of dark blue there, and then we'll just take our lighter blue that we have here, and now this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that wherever I'm going to start my brush at the lower point and I'm going to move up towards where I want it lighter, because wherever you finish your brush and then take it off, that's where it pulls the most, especially if you've thinned it properly. So I'm just going to make sure it's all thinned, and so that will be what you'll then hopefully have is a bit more of a natural transition start to build, and you just keep on layering it until it's about right. Yeah, it's definitely worth trying to mix them a little bit. So I'm going to just start down here. I'm going to work towards this corner here. This is where I want the lightness. I'm just going to pull it up, 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 pull it up. And then like going in a little bit tighter and pulling it up a little bit more there. But my brush strokes are in the same direction, you see. Always pointing towards the same direction. I'm always pulling up, release. Pull up, release. Okay, and then at least, you know, you can still see a bit of a harsh transition. However, there's no like brush strokes mixed in with the volume of paint there. It all looks pretty smooth. Yeah, I just keep on pulling up, 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 pulling up. Okay, and that's kind of making that there. Let's take a little spot of white and let's make a light blue out of what we got here. Okay, so there's a lighter blue. So as you'd say, yeah, you'd get that lighter color next. Make sure that one's thinned down. I wick it against my hand. You can always do it against the paper towel and things. Sometimes the paper towel though is very absorbent of water, so it sometimes takes away too much of the moisture. That can always be a bit of a problem. So then we just keep on doing it, but we do it in a smaller area now. And again, pulling in the same direction, pulling towards that corner where I want that light the most. There we go. And then we're starting to build a little bit of a transition there. It's not a very clean one, but it's getting there. I use acrylics at the moment. This one's all done with acrylics. I mostly use acrylics. Miniature painting acrylics is the most common thing. However, I do use oils sometimes for some special projects when I want to do oil washes. But I don't actually paint with oils. I just do oil washes. One day I would like to try and have a go at doing a full oil painted miniature and seeing how that comes up. There is one viewer who sometimes comes on and he always shares some stuff in the chat as well in Discord. He does actually paint a lot with oils as well. It's always very interesting to see his work because he's kind of that very different style. So now we're going very, very light. We're going to try and pull in this one. So again, smaller area, but I'm pulling towards the light. It's probably still a bit thick, but again, we're building that transition. I'm going to follow the edge of that line there. That's where I'm going to catch the most light. Don't be afraid to move your model around. Find a good angle for yourself and pull up. So we start building this transition. Now, as you can see, those transitions are pretty harsh. So what we can try and do is we can try and go in between those. So I'm going to try and mix my previous color with the current color. Get a bit of a transition there. Now it's probably best that I make sure that this is very thin. What we want is basically like a glaze. This is where you thin it right down so that it's pretty watery and it's not going to have a lot of power. So you can see on my hand here, this is now a glaze. See how thin that is? It's very thin. That I can use to just, again, brush in the bit in between these colors. This is the thing, don't worry about, you don't really need to do this at the level you're at the moment. But this is something that if you want to go, you know what, I want to try to improve that transition a little bit more, that might be something you can do. So you can start to see it's actually covering that transition up, and it's kind of tricking your eye into thinking it's a very smooth transition. That's kind of the idea. Yeah, it is tough. It is difficult. And again, the best thing you can do to again, like to control your brush as well, to be able to be putting it where you want to put it, anchoring your hand. So you see how my hand is on the handle. I got the handle, my hand holding the handle with as many kind of points as possible to make it very smooth, and then I anchor my brush hand in. And so I'm connecting it right in the wrist there. I've got fingers pushing in against the other fingers there, and everything's in. So I know that if my left hand moves, my right hand moves with it exactly the same way. So I can kind of control where I am laying the brush, and I'm just gonna kind of work that transition up. Again, I'm pulling from the dark up to the light, just very gently, just trying to. Oh, maybe I need to leave that to dry because I'm pulling off some of the paint that I don't want to pull off. And you start to see a transition appear. And then it's all about how much time you want to put into it. The more time you put into it, the smoother it can get, and the smoother those blends. If you feel like you don't need that level of stuff, just don't take that much time on it. Just take it a little bit a bit easier, and you don't have to go crazy. But yeah, that's kind of the thing I would try to recommend trying to do. Make sure that your brush is flowing in that same direction. Towards, if you're using lighter colors, towards the light, always towards the light and release, towards the light and release, and you keep going like that. That's kind of what I recommend you try and do. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the model that I was painting earlier, which is this one here. Okay, yeah, that can sometimes happen. So that's okay. This is where you can do the glaze. So if you need to, you knock down the brightness by taking like something just a touch darker, and you thin it right down to this really kind of very thin paint. But you really got to wick that brush very carefully, and then don't worry if you can't see the effect yet. Place it on there, give it a moment to dry, look back at it, apply again. It's the slow accumulation of layers that are going to create a lot of your effects that you're looking for. And that's what's going to kind of get it for you there. Okay. But yeah, it takes time. It takes practice. I certainly couldn't do it for years. But yeah, you get there. You just... A lot of it though is like you got to develop the muscles for it. Your muscle memory, and eventually you just kind of automatically start figuring out where you're going to be placing things. Shadows, like where the light falls as well, is something that I always struggled with. Like, where do I place light on the model? I always mucked it up, and then I'm still mucking it up now. But the more I do it, the better I get at it, because you build those synapses in your brain to just remember it all, and it becomes more natural to you. And it just takes time and patience. All right, no, yeah, good luck with VX. Yeah, just get to painting and just keep trying. You've made fantastic improvements in such a short time. I'm really impressed with it. I wish I was that quick. So do you wet the brush before painting, or does it matter? It depends on the consistency of your paint. There is some paint which is very thick. I find Vallejo paints to be pretty thick. So I will wet my brush and I will thin them down sometimes. Other paints are already pretty thin and I don't feel like I need to thin them down too much. So it's kind of getting used to the paint and like figuring out the consistency that works for me. It also depends what I'm trying to do with the paint. If I'm base coating things, then I'm not going to be thinning it down too much. If I need to glaze it, then yeah, I'm going to be adding lots of water to it, or maybe a glazed medium to it if I really want to make sure it runs as smoothly as possible. It just depends on the paint, really. Different paints have different properties. But you will be mixing a little bit of water, and it's good to thin your paints, as they say. They always say thin your paints, thin your paints, thin your paints. Part of that is you got to thin your paints, but you also got to know how to wick your paints, and you got to know how heavy you need to put the paint onto the model and things like that. Okay, I've never tried the Reaper. I don't know what they're like, to be honest. I've never ever tried them. I like Vallejo. I think Vallejo is common everywhere, and it's very affordable, and it's pretty consistent, and you can trust it. It's really, really nice. If you can get hold of them, I found I'm really enjoying the AK paints range. That's really, really nice. Also as well, if you want a paint that's already pretty thin when it comes out and quite nice to use, I'm really enjoying the Pro Acryl. I believe they're an American company. These ones are pretty good as well. These ones got some really nice paints. Citadel is good. I just don't like them in pots, to be honest. I like them in dropper bottles because I use a wet palette and it's so much easier. But yeah, that's kind of that. So yeah, and they seem super thin. Okay, so they might not be so good for doing your base coating and things like that. But it really depends. I don't know. You can have a thin paint which has still high pigmentation. Inks are a good example. Like I use Liquitex inks as well. These are kind of acrylic inks. Incredibly thin, but incredibly high pigmentation, so they're really vibrant when you apply them. I think. Let's see. Yeah, my dragon was painted with a lot of the acrylic inks and whatchamacallits, and oil paints as well. This is, I'm not going to be able to show it very easily because it's huge, but let me just zoom out. That's about as far as I can go. This is the dragon that we painted. This was all done with a lot of inks through an airbrush, and then applying oil paint washes, and then adding acrylic highlights as well. And that's that. Yeah, thinner paints, the more you probably need to layer. It really depends, and it also depends on what paints you're using on what kind of primer. So, if are your models primed white? Are they primed black? Are they primed in grey? Are they zenithal primed like this? This can often, if they're thin paints, then there's a translucency to them, so they kind of keep a little bit of the information that's underneath. So this is quite nice. You can almost just do a layer, and it still keeps some of the shadows in there for you. So it also already looks kind of nice. So I often kind of zenithal highlight models as well, and then kind of it doesn't really matter if I put thin paints on, because I zenithal highlight them pretty light as well to make sure that the vibrancy of the color comes up. And then when I'm painting onto it, then it kind of comes out like this. This is the same model, but a little bit of paint on it. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably a better view of it. Working on that one. But yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really enjoyed. That's going to be my next video on YouTube. Is going to be that, how I painted that thing. Really enjoyed painting it. Not enjoying making the video, to be honest. It's a bit of a hassle. I got too many things on the go at once at the moment, and too many kind of big projects going on as well. Work's very busy, but also I'm trying to learn a lot more about Blender so I can actually sculpt my own stuff. Have a go at doing those kinds of things, and also doing animations in Blender as well, so I can try and do some animated battle reports for Infinity and things like that. Oh, it's not so much there's a lot to remember. It's basically just go and have fun. Um, it's more of like just go and enjoy painting and have some fun with it. But the more you learn, you'll learn a new technique, and you'll just do that technique for a while and be really, hopefully get really good at it. Then try something new, and then it just kind of keeps on rolling on, and you kind of learn more and more and more different things and different ways to approach painting models. There's quick ways, there's long ways. I tend to like the long ways because I feel I learn more doing the long way. I don't try to get stuff done too fast, which is terrible for my commission side of things. Like, this commission's been taking me a few months because I've just like been doing other projects and things. Luckily my client was like, just I'm not in no rush, so just finish it when you finish it, kind of thing. I'm on to the last 3 models now, so I'm going to try and finish them off for him, and then this commission will be complete. I just want to make sure I do a decent job with it all. But yeah, right, so we kind of got his head done there, and I want to get in a little bit of the orchid light onto his little bandana things there. That'll be kind of good. There we go. Yeah, to be honest, this is another thing, like, when you get into the hobby, it's kind of fun getting new paints and playing around with new paints and trying out all the different types of paints, but you really don't necessarily need lots and lots of paints. And it depends how you want to approach it. If you want paints just to be there, like I want as many different colors as possible, so I just approach everything with all the colors that I need straight out of a bottle, then you probably need a lot of paints. But if you kind of understand the properties of different colors of paints and things, you can mix your own. And I found the AK interactive paint set really good for that. The basic paint set, the basic like starter paint set that they have is really good because you can pretty much mix any color you like, as long as you have a bit of an understanding of color theory and how the mixing works and things like that. How to desaturate, and basically it's like highly saturated colors in a basic set that cross right around the color wheel in 14 colors. 2 of those being black and white, so you can desaturate things with grays by mixing those together, and they're all like really nice paints. I really like them. And they're really cool. Okay, right. A lot of this guy's kind of coming along. He's kind of getting close to done, I think, in terms of his thematic kind of color. We're gonna have to go over to the next one soon. What else do I want to really do with you? Oh, I want to get that red on you. So we're gonna go and get a lighter red. We're gonna use this scarlet red. I really like this scarlet red. It's really nice. Oops, sorry. Let me just pop that there. There we go. This scarlet red is really nice. Oh yeah. The most important thing, as I said, is like, yeah, so if you enjoy the painting, it's good. So as for paints, I'd love to find paints that have a high pigment. I love some of the works I've seen that are so vibrant. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that has kind of like that high pigment. I think it's not a beginner friendly set, but it's supposed to be very good in terms of having high pigmentation, and that is the Chimera paints. However, as a beginner, I wouldn't recommend starting with the Chimera paints. They're kind of difficult to use, is from what I've heard. I would love a set of Chimera. I'm really kind of into the idea of playing around with Chimera. I think it'd be a lot of fun. You can do a lot of things with them, and the base set means that you can actually kind of make your own colors out of that basic set pretty easily as well. So a bit like the AK paints I have, but the AK seems pretty good as well. I think they're pretty high. They got some really nice colors, and again, like Jose Da Vinci picked out all of the colors for the basic paint set, and I find them all to be like highly saturated, but also very easy to use kind of paints, and then like you can desaturate them as you need kind of thing. So it starts off it gives you everything you need for a very highly saturated model, and you can knock it down wherever you need to. But yeah, it's fun. I love this hobby. I'm just going to mix some of that with the previous wine red that I had for this this canister that's on his back. And we're just going to layer that in a little bit first. There we go. Yeah, is there any kind of painters that you've seen that you really like? Anything that's kind of stood out for you as being particularly good? I have a few of my favorites. So you, sorry Felix, sorry I missed your chat there. Tried some Citadel for the first time since you got off and got into it as well. Hate the paint. That's a shame. There are certain Citadel paints which are really nice. Not all of them though. It's a very inconsistent range. Their whites are terrible. But there are some nice ones. But there's a lot of crappy ones. And the fact that they're not in dropper bottles is an absolute pain, because it means you have to open them up and then they're out in the air and they just dry off really quickly. It's a right pain. Alright, what was I doing? Oh yeah. We were doing that little canister on the back here. Got a little bit of a thread on the end there. I'll pull out that. Again, I'm kind of trying to draw up from the bottom so that any pooling happens at the top where I want it to be lightest, and hopefully make a smoother transition. But yeah. It's a nice little vibrant red vial that he's got there. Okay, he's pretty close to done, apart from the base, of course. But that's okay. So you can join my other unbased models. I've got all of these models over here which haven't been based properly yet. I haven't painted the bases, so I'm going to do them all in one big batch and try and get them done. But that'll be fun. Marco Frizzone is great, isn't he? Oh, absolutely phenomenal. I love Marco Frizzone. The dragon I painted was based off of his guide to paint the Stormcast Eternal Dragon. So it's a similar style, but he does his better, of course. But yeah, Marco Frizzone not only paints really, really well, he paints really, really fast, which everyone hates. Like, loves him and hates him for it. Because it's like, oh goddamn, speed painting this thing in 4 hours, and it's like the most amazing piece of work ever. And it's like, dude, how do you do that? Yeah, no, he seems like a lovely guy. Like he's like one of those figurehead people where it's like just an absolute wonderful person. And I just love like his ideas for some videos as well. I really enjoyed one of his videos, which was kind of exploring like art books, which aren't particularly like miniature art books, but just art books in general that are really handy for miniature painters to understand different types of theories and approaches to painting and how you could use them in miniature painting. It was really, really good. Like, he was really, really cool. Really enjoyed that video. Oh, nice, nice. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I've just kind of invested in getting the R9 lamp. So I'm hoping that will kind of fix a number of my lamp problems and lighting problems that I have. Because that lamp is certainly an expensive lamp, but I've heard it's really good. And I didn't know his IKEA recommendations actually. Are they all kind of like daylight color as well? I guess you just choose the bulbs for that. That's up to you to get the right bulbs. Oh, that's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes that's all you need. No, I've ended up now investing in a, was it like a $300 light? It just seems ridiculous. It was like, for the amount of time that I spend sat at this desk painting, I was like, screw it. This light that I've got here, the arm broke, and this is just a cheapy light, and it's done me good. But I was like, you know what? This is an excuse to go and buy myself and treat myself to a really nice light, because I sit here and do a lot of painting all the time. So if I can get a light that's like really good for making sure color is exactly as you see it, and I'm gonna try that one. Nice, nice. But yeah, I'm getting a really expensive thing, but also it's also good for my space as well, because I can clip it to the table and positioning it nice and high, so it's out of my hair, as it were. Not that I have any hair to get things out of. But yeah. Oh, excellent, excellent. We do have IKEAs here, but sometimes their stock is a little bit different from elsewhere. Depends what they're bringing into Japan. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Ah, you joined Twitch. Thank you very much, Rascal Hobbies, and thank you for subscribing here as well. Like, not subscribing, following as well here. Very, very much appreciated. Thanks, man. Yeah, if people are sharing like links and stuff, then Twitch is easier, because that's usually where most people are going to be joining from. I popped it on YouTube because it'll be a good chance for people who did want to see my stuff come and join that way. But yeah. So right now, this particular model, I just threw over a contrast paint, the equivalent of a contrast paint. Yeah. The I think Twitch, it comes up a little faster. The other places that my stream goes to get a little bit of more of a delay. I do believe. Vallejo, you have to thin down more. That's my experience anyway. Vallejo's pretty thick. Just from the AK paints that I have, and compared to the amount of Vallejo I've used, I'd say so. To be honest, I'm not really a contrast paint person, but I went and picked up the Vallejo Express paints just to try. And it's kind of like, oh, they're kind of interesting, but I don't know. I'm like, well, they're kind of like inks. But just kind of with a different consistency to inks, but still kind of like inks. They're still very highly pigmented, but they kind of help. They can create depth straight away. So I get what they're kind of there for, is kind of like to speed up painting processes for a lot of people, or like for people who just want to get a lot done quickly. It can create a nice effect. I think there's other ways of using them to create better effects and things, but I don't really use them, to be honest. It's just from the rare time to time I might throw some on, but I've only got a few colors. I don't have that many. Yeah, they're kind of good for that. There are some painters who do some really cool stuff with them, and like the fact that they have this high pigmentation. Apparently they're pretty good through airbrushes as well. But when it comes going through airbrushes, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's kind of just like an ink at that point. I might as well just use my inks. My Liquitex inks do that kind of thing for me already, so they're not really that necessary for me. I just picked them up because I got the new Express ones that came out over here in Japan, and I was like, yeah, I'll just try them. Let me give them a go. I really want that to be a bit darker. I don't know why it's so bright. Yeah, so that's it's kind of like a big kind of YouTube thing, I think, really, for people looking for that kind of quick fix of getting like really good models on the table without having to put a lot of time and effort into their models. So there's these kind of slap chop techniques which uses like the contrast paints and things like that. I'm, to be honest, I took no interest in what slap chop is or learning it or anything, so I really still have no idea really what slap chop is, because it's not a technique that I'm interested in as such. You know, you're trying to get a decent looking model out of kind of quick techniques, but it feels like, you know, like life hacks and shortcuts into doing things. I'm enjoying going the long way around and figuring out kind of techniques where I'm in control of everything as much as possible. It's kind of you can get some really good results. I mean, I've seen stuff that's supposedly slap chop, but it looks really nice and looks really good, but it's generally kind of, I think, sold as here's a really quick method you can do that looks really effective for its speed. And for me, that's not why I'm painting. I'm painting to learn how to be a better painter, not just be able to paint a ton of models as fast as possible. I'm not a Warhammer collector anymore, so I don't need to paint things that fast. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. That's what I like to do, is take my time on models, try to be in control of everything that I can be. Where I muck up, it's where I've just kind of, I've mucked up and I've got to learn from. So that's how I learned NMM, like non-metallic metal. Is like, I was like, I'm going to challenge myself. No metallics. I'm going to do it all with just regular paints and figure it out. And take my time and do it again and again and again until I kind of get it. And then I'm going to do it some more. So when I'm talking about non-metallic metals, this is what I'm talking about. So all of the gold here is not gold paint, it's all matte paints to kind of give the image of gold, if you see what I mean. Ah, thank you very much, Rash. I'm glad you're happy to be here. I'm happy you're here as well. Right. Yeah, like metallic metals can be a bit difficult to use and things. Sometimes it's really nice. You know what? There's one metallic paint that Marco Frizzoni uses all the time and it's really, really awesome. And that's this. This thing is like, oh, like silky smooth and it's just so nice to use. It's a little expensive, but it's so good. And you can mess around with the properties of it by mixing it with inks to create different colors and things. Oh, that is a metallic paint that is actually like, oh, brilliant to use. Very, very nice. It's very, very nice. Otherwise, yeah, I don't normally use metallics. But that one, I look forward to the moments, the projects that I have when I use that. When I get around to painting Angron, I'm going to be using that metallic paint. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. I have never used it in an airbrush. To be honest, even though it's for airbrushes, I'm very, very hesitant to put metallic paints in an airbrush. So yeah, I use it without an airbrush. It also has this kind of magical effect it has when mixing with paint thinner and like with the thinner that I use, acrylic thinner, and with inks as well. When you mix them in, it has this wonderful kind of reaction that is just so cool to see. And then when you're applying it, it's like applying a contrast paint, but it's metallic, and it just, oh, it's just so silky to use. Whereas like a lot of other metallics are so thick when you're moving around. I will probably, yes, paint when I get around to painting Angron. It will be on stream, yeah. I'll probably be recording it as well, so I can make a YouTube for it as well. But yes, I do. I think it was my orcs, the Cruel Boys. I sold those guys, but they were, all the metallics on them were painted with that metallic paint. Let me see if I can pull up a picture for you guys. I think it's there. Let me have a quick looky. Right. Yeah. Okay. I'll show you. That's not such a good one. Yeah, that's probably better. Hold on a second. Let me just pull it up. This particular model. Whoa. Let's blow that up a little bit. This particular model was painted. You can see all of the metal here. I painted with a kind of a blue ink mixed in as well. That was one. These guys as well. It's kind of hard to see them, but these ones mixed in. What did I mix in with that? Did I mix in like a little bit of a red or something like that, or like a burnt umber maybe into the metallic, and that was the metallic there. But we got that on there. That was a fun one. This was like the whole army, which I managed to sell pretty fast. I was surprised actually how quickly it sold. So I was like, oh, I should have maybe made it a bit more expensive. But yeah, those ones, I don't think there's anything else that I've really used a lot with those. Ah, yes, there was some. these guys. So yeah, this was a mixture of Citadel's kind of gold paint, but then I've also got a little bit of that other metallic paint in there for these Adeptus Custodes. This was a thank you. It's surprisingly, actually, I followed the Marco Frizzoni approach to those orcs, and I knocked them up pretty fast, to be honest. All thanks to an oil wash. I think I got an example of how the oil wash worked. Where was that? I got that somewhere here. This was a competition piece I did. I was really proud of it. Oh, there's the video. But yeah, this one. This was a competition piece I did. I'm really proud of this one. This one's my favourite model I've painted. I was really happy with this. Right now it's back in England for my parents. I've got it. But yeah, this one of Tyr, really enjoyed painting it. It was so much fun. I was really happy with how it came out. Here we go. This is kind of like the oil wash. So, you know, like a fairly simple, basic paint job, which looks kind of nice but bright. I got gold, but there was one more model in the same category as me that got best in show. So I kind of got second place at the store that I entered in. So yeah, I got second place, which was pretty. I was really surprised at. There's a lot of really good models there, and so that was at that was in Osaka in like the kind of miniature painting store that they have there. The prize was just basically some points. It wasn't particularly a lot. I think I got like 2,000 yen or something like that. It's not very much, but it's more about the prestige. You know, like I got gold. You know, that kind of thing. But this kind of shows you like the effect of a black wash. So this was with an oil wash. So I painted the orc fairly bright like this. Didn't take very long, pretty fast, and did a bunch of orcs like this. I then took my black oil wash and just coated the entire model in this black oil. And then using a makeup sponge, you just remove the oil paint from the surfaces, and it kind of creates this effect. And it looks like you've done loads of like high-grade detail, when in actual fact it was a pretty basic paint job. That's kind of cool. I haven't been watching the new series of Shogun. I actually watched the old series of Shogun. But no, I haven't seen the new one yet. I'll eventually get around to watching it. But yeah. I'll get there eventually. Oh man, yeah. This was the pack of like models I got, display models that I got. I've still got to paint this Minotaur on a giant rhino. Get around there sometime. Oh yeah. The Shogun. So there's originally it's a book series, but they made a series in the, I want to say the 80s, late 70s or early 80s or something, and yeah, it had Toshiro Mifune playing the Shogun. But yeah. Oh man, Fallout was amazing. Yeah. Oh man, no, Fallout the game. I grew up with that one. I remember buying the very first Fallout game. That was like 25 years ago or so, and absolutely loved the show. It was really good. Oh, Bruce Lee, yes. No, yeah, the Fallout show was amazing. And I love Fallout. I'm a big Fallout fan. I've played pretty much all of the games. I haven't played the Fallout 4, but I've played the ones all previous to that, and I loved them a lot. And this TV series was amazing. It was great. I'm hoping, because that was Amazon. Amazon are also doing the Warhammer TV show with what's his name? Can't remember. I can't believe I've forgotten his name. But I'm hoping that they do a similarly good job with that. Yeah, they did choose the actors well. Every single actor is pretty much spot on. It was really good. And I love the fact they had Matt Berry in as well. Matt Berry was amazing. Matt Berry is the guy who did the voice of the robot that was like, don't worry, we're just gonna harvest your organs. That guy. Big fan of Matt Berry, and I was just like, oh, he was perfectly cast. Yeah, but no, that whole show was fantastic. I'm gonna try and watch it again, I would imagine. Oh yeah, they're gonna be doing Warhammer as well. No, it's not the very first Fallout. It is actually canon, and it's actually the kind of the latest Fallout story. So it's in fact, yeah, all of the other Fallout stories come before it. So it's the latest one. So yeah, I don't know much about Fallout 76 and everything, but yeah, they're in Vegas, so it comes after the Fallout New Vegas game, which is considered to be like the best Fallout game by many. It is really good, and very, very rich in lore as well. And at that very ending scene, you see of the kind of the Vegas Strip. That's of the city of Vegas. That's like straight out of the game, and it's like that's a big like season 2 is gonna be here kind of thing. And like for everyone who's ever played Fallout Vegas, they're like, yes, that's gonna be awesome. Are we gonna see Mr. House? Is he making a comeback? Is he still alive? Is he not? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. It's kind of cool. I don't know if it's between 3 and 4 or not. I don't know. But it's because the TV show is based in California and around Hollywood and stuff like that. Then it relates a lot more towards Fallout New Vegas, where the other games are usually, I don't know where Fallout 4 was based, but a lot of the other ones are on the East Coast, which is where the Brotherhood of Steel operate a lot. In Vegas, they don't have such a strong presence, which you kind of see. They kind of arrive on their airship and things like that, and they're moving around on the airship because they don't really have an established presence in California. That's kind of like the home to the California Republic. There was also Kaiser. There was a Caesar that literally had like formed up legionaries and created this kind of fascist regime that tried to overthrow the current kind of the current powers there. And they were really nasty, like crucifying people and things like that. They're a really nasty lot. Yeah, this is very rich and very interesting. So I'm wondering if any of that might come up now that we're getting closer to Vegas and things. Oh man, I absolutely adore Fallout. I mean, I was like, I really want to play Fallout 1 again and Fallout 2, because those were just really solid games. If you ever played like Wasteland 2, that's kind of what the old Fallouts were as well. I think it was actually kind of made by the same person who made that the Fallout game and things. Was the one who did the Wasteland games as well, or at least had some sort of hand in it. But then even like the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, they're still fun. Yeah, they're still good. Janky in places. It's like, it's like going back and playing for like the 3D ones. It's like going back and playing Oblivion and things, but it's still good. No, 76 I've heard is like they did this whole multiplayer thing, so it's like, what? I've heard that it's been fixed quite a lot and it's actually kind of enjoyable just as a single player again now, but I would still say like that's not a place you want to be learning about the game from, or really getting yourself introduced to Fallout. That's not the place to be. You want to be you want to be playing maybe Fallout 3, kind of get into that again, or Fallout New Vegas is really good. Like a slow start, but then so good as you go in. So many cool ideas in there, so many cool characters. And there was really cool like nods towards the games in the TV series. There's a bit where I think they're in the Vault 32, Vault 33, and one of them's like, "Oh, I have an announcement to make. It's okay, you can tell everybody." It's like, "Our water chip is broken. It's like we'll have two months before we'll have no more clean water." That's straight out of Fallout 1. That's literally the concept of the opening of the game. Is the vault that you're in, the water chip is broken, and you're on a mission to go and find it within 60 days. So it was like a really nice little nod towards Fallout 1. And the whole the golden rule of the wasteland being what's it? Yeah, thou shalt get sidetracked constantly is pretty much all the side quests that you have in the Fallout games. I don't think you need to remake them in today's graphics and things. They kind of their own thing, because it's if you wanted to kind of feel those games out in something a little bit more modern, I would recommend playing Wasteland 2. I haven't played Wasteland 3. I don't know what that's like, but Wasteland 2 was really good. That was super. Like the amount of choice in that game. Oh my god, that was amazing. But that was very, very similar kind of concept, just a little bit different kind of thing, but it's still the same type of concept. But oh my god, that was such a good game. But yeah. The old ones are like isometric role-playing game. And then the newer ones obviously play a bit like Skyrim and Oblivion, but in a 3D, in a futuristic setting rather than a fantasy setting or a post-apocalyptic setting. And so for fighting, instead of doing your regular battles, you have the VATS system where it kind of pauses combat and you can choose where to shoot and things, because in the original games you could choose where to shoot and stuff. It was part of the mechanics of the game, so they kind of included that in the new 3D versions. I say new, that's like still a pretty long time ago now since Fallout 3 came out. But yeah, oh what a game. I really want to play again. to figure out which bits of the hair and which is not. Yeah. Oh yeah, you take care. See you in a moment. All right, where are we at? How are we doing here? One of the things I'm going to do is get the leather brown out again, and we're going to go over it, or everything that's going to be brown. One of the things I did was actually go over this in black, didn't I, in the previous one? I think I'm going to have to do that to make sure that the contrast is strong enough. There's my black on there. I think it's a bit thick, it's going to be difficult to paint with. Apply some new black. Yeah, that's not going to be so great to paint with, I think. No. Not enjoying that. Get some new black on the palette. Oh Christ, quite a while before I started taking commissions. I'm only taking commissions in the last year. It was only in the last year that I was like, you know what, I feel like I'm good enough now to maybe start commissions. And so I started a Fiverr, I got a couple of commissions through that, and then I just take them from time to time. I really don't do it very much, just because I don't want to spend my whole time doing commissions all the time. But what I do like about commissions is that when I do get to do them, one, it gives me a little bit of extra money. Whilst I get paid to do the thing I really enjoy, and also I get to paint stuff that I wouldn't normally paint. So I try not to keep myself too busy with them, so I only just do it from time to time. I don't really push it too hard. It's just nice to be able to do it, and that there are people that want me to paint their models for them, so I'm kind of like, oh, that's nice. But it's it's a thing where I'm definitely spending more time painting commission stuff than I'm really earning from it. But it's nice to do because I'm doing it for more of the fun of it than anything else. So I'm not too fussed. Yeah, there's always a danger of if you once you decide to make money off of the thing you like doing for a relaxing time, it doesn't become relaxing anymore. So you've got to be very, very careful. So I try to take it as opportunity to paint stuff that I wouldn't normally paint, and try not to let it stress me out at all. Should be something I'm still enjoying to do. And it's kind of nice. This particular client has commissioned me a couple of times now to paint a lot of the Shadows of Brimstone models, which I would never paint normally. It would not be something that I would get the opportunity to paint, but it's been really fun because I get to paint Vikings, I get to paint Japanese samurai, I've been painting conquistadors, like vampiric conquistadors, and these kind of curious World War I trench warfare aliens. It's nuts, it's crazy, it's kind of fun, it's nice. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, it's not, for me, it's not a source of income. It gives me basically a source of hobby money. That's pretty much what it is. I'm not good enough to be able to earn from this as a living or anything like that, so it's really just as a bonus. Same with like Twitch, I get like a little bit of Twitch money for what I do. I don't run adverts on my channel, so I don't get anything from commercials or anything, but I've got a few subscribers, and that really helps me out. Just to give me like a little bit of money to spend on some models and things. I'm also in a very lucky position where I do get sent some things as well from companies, so that's a very lucky position to be in, where it's like, oh, I don't actually have to buy many models because I'm getting sent stuff as well. So there was I don't know, there is a game with a lot of samurai minis. God damn it, what's the game called? Ugh. What is that game called? Damn it. That's gonna drive me nuts now. There is actually a game which is all about like feudal Japanese warriors and things like that. Let me see, feudal Japan miniatures game. What is it called? Someone's got to come up. Is it Kinsei? Something like that. Yes, it is. This one. Yeah, Kensei. It's worth checking out Kensei miniatures. They're pretty good. Yeah, there's the Kensei series of games. They have a very wide range of miniatures. And the game's supposed to be pretty good, is from what I've heard. And the whole game is basically feudal Japanese armies fighting one another. So they have a whole bunch of stuff, absolute ton of stuff. I think they've even got like Oni and things as well that you can get as part of their armies. Yeah, there's like some Oni type stuff going on as well. They're pretty cool. The ones that I painted recently for commission were the Shadow of Brimstone models. So here is kind of like a quick example of one. This was one particular model there. It's like a female daimyo. There's no such thing, but in the game they got it. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, thank you for throwing up the link there. That's good. Hello there, Dale McCormack. How are you doing, my man? But yeah, that was that's kind of like these are quite nice miniatures. I quite like them. The quality of the miniatures aren't as good as what I'm used to painting, but they're pretty nice. They had a really kind of cool Japanese sorceress as well, which I quite enjoyed painting her. She was pretty cool to do. Try and get the kind of like the magical script into the scroll that she's got, and the magical fire coming from her hand and things. That was a kind of a fun challenge, and getting I try to go for a very vibrant style with her, and like the eyes are kind of glowing with magical energy. That's the idea anyway. That was kind of cool. That was a fun one. I also had a go at like I don't know, I didn't do very well, but I had a go at doing a tattoo as well, a freehand tattoo. So I kind of got this dragon that kind of coming around the body there. I'm not so good at the freehand stuff, but that was kind of fun. But yeah. Anyway, Dale, what are you doing? Are you painting anything these days, or what are you doing? What are you up to? Assembling Infinity models? Yeah, that can sometimes happen. Yep, the hand on the weapon, and you need to fit the shoulder on the other side. Yep. Yeah, they're really tricky. Yeah, sometimes it's dry fitting for a long time to try and figure out where it's gonna go is always a tricky one. Oh, thank you very much, Dale. That's very kind of you. But yeah, it is hard. It is hard. They're they can be an alright pain sometimes, those models. But they are beautiful. But yeah, I do not like the ones where you have to like fit the arm into the hand that's holding the gun. Ooh, they're tough to get right. Sometimes I don't even get them right, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You'll be fine. To paint the center of this thing black, because that one's going to be a metal color. Yeah, absolute nightmare, I bet. Yeah, they're a right pain, and like you need like 3 extra arms just to kind of hold it all in place and let it dry right and things, and because they're metal as well, the super glue doesn't always stick straight away, so it would be nice if you could use accelerant, but again, you need another hand to be able to use the accelerant. It's a right tricky thing putting together the Infinity models. But they look so nice. Which model is it that you're trying to put together? Another kind of interesting set of models. If you want to go kind of down the fantasy side of kind of Japanese models and things, you can always try Malifaux as well. Malifaux's got a few things. It's an 012 Star Armada model. Oh, okay. Now, like they used to be that they're a lot better these days. So I think even in the 012 Star Armada set, it's more of a recent set, so they're generally a little bit easier to put together. Manifold, okay. Yeah, I'm not actually familiar with the specific Star Armada characters and what they're called. But the old Corvus Belli Infinity models were like particularly difficult to put together. I've got some Japanese kind of yokai characters from what's it? Malifaux. For example, like this fella here, which I'm kind of looking forward to eventually painting. He'll be a kind of a fun one. For some reason, I lost the lantern he was holding, so I'm kind of screwed on that. But yeah. We're doing diamond art at the minute. Nothing too exciting. Waiting for a break in the weather to do some priming. All right. Yeah. If the weather's not right, it's kind of hard if you're using a spray can, right? I just do everything with an airbrush, and I'm inside where I can kind of control the temperature a little bit and the humidity. Yeah, oh, I've really got to fix this line. Yeah. But there'll be a fun one. I've got a whole gang to paint up there. I'll get them done eventually. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I gotta finish off all of this black. Getting sidetracked today, like in conversation, I'm just like losing all my focus on what I'm actually doing. Oh, I'm not familiar with diamond art. What is diamond art? I have to have a look. I have to look it up after I finish the stream today. Oh, and you got a couple of samurai ready for priming and painting. Lovely. I really would like to get a 3D printer at some point. One day. And it's, I mean, I could just buy one, but I feel like I just, it's more of a time thing. Like, I've already got so much to paint anyway. I don't really want to print off any more things to delay me painting all the stuff that I've already have. And as long as Corvus Belly keeps sending me stuff, I'm never going to run out of stuff to paint. So I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need a 3D printer as of yet. But I really want to learn how to kind of design my own models and try and print my own model. That's one of my goals, is to be able to design a model myself and print it. So I'm kind of learning Blender at the moment. Yeah, no, they're definitely more affordable. It's not so much about the money for them. It's going to be the time that I can actually spend to actually do it, because it's a whole other hobby, really. Right, yeah. That bit there. And there. Here. Yeah, they found my YouTube channel. They want one of the staff there, one of the marketing staff just contacted me and was like, "Oh, by the way, we like your channel. Would you like, if you like, we would like to send you some stuff." And I was like, "Sure." really? Is that okay? Are you sure? And they're like, yeah, we'll send you some stuff. So far they've sent me a few things, which has been really nice, and I thank them very much for it because it's been lovely. So I've received what it was the originally it was the Infinity End Song book, along with the Cascuda and I've got him just behind me. The Cascuda and Maximus. I haven't painted Maximus yet, but I did paint the Cascuda, and I made a YouTube video on it as well. This was the Cascuda. I really enjoyed painting this thing. This was so much fun. I'm really happy with how he turned out as well. It was cool. And then they also sent me Rem Racers, their new board game. And also I've received the Torchlight Brigade, which I haven't been able to get around to painting yet. But yeah, they've been really pushing, like sending stuff out to like smaller size creators to try and kind of promote their things through a lot of like the creators who are focused on their work, on their particular hobby. So rather than I guess it's rather than just hitting just anybody, it's kind of like who's actually into Infinity and where Infinity players are perhaps looking towards. Again, I've got a pretty small channel, but yeah, they send me the stuff and I'm like, that's great. I'm happy to do videos on them because I think all your models are pretty awesome, to be honest. I'm really excited actually to paint some of the Torchlight Brigade, but I've got to finish all of these other things that I've got going on. Yeah, one model was plastic, which was this one, the big guy, this fella. This fella was the plastic one, using the Siocast. And it came out, it's like, the detail's pretty nice, pretty crisp, pretty good. So yeah, he's cool. Got wonderful arse cheeks. But yeah, he's got great buns. Ugh. Pop him down there. The other, they also have like some plastic backpacks as well. Yeah, it's kind of an old school thing to paint metal miniatures to an extent. Yeah, like all of the old Warhammer stuff was metal. I've got some old Warhammer stuff that's metal. But Corvus Belli are just, that's what they make, kind of thing. They do everything in metal. The one kind of advantage of metal is you can really get some really, really crisp designs out of them. Really, really crisp results with metal sculpts. But generally you have to make them on a smaller scale than you can do with plastic, kind of thing. Plastic becomes a more efficient thing when you're doing it in a large scale batches. Things like that. But the Siocast is you can do in smaller batches quite efficiently. The only problem with the Siocast is there is a little bit rubbery material, so if there is any kind of problems with the mold, then cleaning that mold up, like mold lines and flash and things, is really difficult. It doesn't come off as easily as it does with metal and regular hard plastic. Wow, I used to make miniatures out of tin himself. That's absolutely awesome. That's old school. Proper old school. Okay, alright, I've got to do the boots. Can't forget the boots. What Warhammer have you got that you need to paint up? Here's the deal. I have painted some Warhammer fairly recently, just not very much. I just kind of sometimes pick up ones when I can get them cheap that I really want to paint. And then once I painted them, I just kind of sell them. Because it's like, well, I did it and now I need to make some space at home. Because I live in Japan and space is very, very limited in the home. It's the nature of Japan. Time to go over with the browns, I think, next. No, actually, I moved to Japan because I was curious about living in Japan. And then I just ended up staying for a very long time. One Space Marine left, Beast Boss Orc, nice, and a Runt Herd and Gretchen, lovely. Yeah, those kind of Beast Herd Orcs and things look pretty cool. Orcs are always fun to paint, aren't they? Can't have a bad day when you're painting orcs. Orcsies are the only ones who know to have fun. Oh, mostly it's just teaching English, right? Mostly teaching English. I now work in like an international preschool, and I train teachers. It's a busy job, but I like working with children. It's nice. Although it means that when I get home and see my daughter, I'm kind of like, I'm done with children right now. I'm just like, but she's now 8, so it's kind of a different age, so it's kind of different, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't play any Warhammer or anything like that, to be honest. I think it's not fun. So yeah, just finding those models that you really like and just painting them, that's fun. That's awesome. if you haven't already, Dale, just be sure to join the Discord. I believe in my YouTube descriptions there's a link to my Discord. You can kind of pop in there and share photos of your models and things, and like people share their progress and completed stuff there. I'm going to try and maybe rework my Discord a little bit, as I got channels in there. I got like sections that no one really uses that much. So I may try and update it a bit, but you're more than welcome to come and join and say hello. Yeah, teaching on the job and teaching on the job. I like teaching. That's kind of a thing. I like sharing and passing on knowledge and things like that. I'm not necessarily always the best, but I like learning from people myself, and if there's the opportunity to help other people learn, then I love it as well. It's where the streaming is actually kind of fun. When you do have someone who has a question, you can try to help them with it, and that feels good. So I've enjoyed getting those chances to be like, well, here's an approach, and here, let me show you how it works, kind of thing. It's kind of fun. Yeah, no, thank you very much, Dale. No, the more that come on, the merrier. We share, the more people share stuff. It's good. I try to respond as often as I can when I get the opportunity to, but my time zone is usually causes a bit of a delay for most people. In some of my response times. But we've got a nice little group of people that just come on and fairly regularly update us with their projects and share them, no matter the level. It's always nice to see their work. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I find this hobby in particular. I don't know about other hobby things as well, but this particular hobby of painting miniatures, it's generally a pretty humble one. Like, no matter the level of the painter, they understand everyone's journey in it, and there's a lot of patience for each other. Ultimately, if you're going to sit and paint a bleeding teeny model for hours on end, patience is probably one of your personality traits. So people having patience for each other is very strong in this community, I think, and everyone wants to kind of see each other do better and help each other. So it's a very positive community, I find. Don't find very many painters who are negative at all. I'm sure they're out there, but they're very few and far between. It's not like when it comes to actually playing the games and things, actually playing the things and joining tournaments and things, is where a few of the more toxic or negative kind of hobbyists can lie. But in the painting world, pretty positive, I think, anyway. Alright, I'm going to just do these boots, and we may have to call it a night. It's been 2 hours on stream almost, and I still have work in the morning, and it's getting on for midnight here. Actually, what time is it? Yeah, it's almost midnight here. I made very slow progress on this because I was chatting quite a lot and I lost concentration on what I was actually doing. But a very enjoyable chat, I really enjoyed it. Yes, it's very different from playing Infinity. Infinity is a completely different beast. Whereas like Warhammer is like, okay, it's my turn to remove all my things, and then I'm going to do this action and this action and this action, and you're going to kind of watch me do it. and then kind of roll some saving throws. Now it's your turn to do the same. Infinity is basically the whole mechanic of Infinity is AROs, automatic reaction orders, where any model that sees another model do something gets to react. So if you shoot at an opponent, if you shoot at another model, that model gets to choose also what to do. Like, do they dodge? Do they shoot back? What do they do? That kind of thing. So you kind of roll off against one another. So there's always these opposed rolls and things that you have to roll. It's a bit of a complex beast, but once you get your head around it, it makes sense, and it's a really unique and cool approach to playing a tactical squad-based game. I do not have Games of Infinity yet on my YouTube. Not yet. I am literally working on one right now, and I'm doing it as a 3D Blender project. Let me just see if I can show you. I think I got the thing on Discord of what I was doing with this. Is it? That was that one, wasn't it? Where did I put it? I'm sure I put it somewhere. Oh geez. It was in the Infinity, wasn't it? Yeah. So if I just pull up my Discord there, so you can kind of see, this is the video I'm working on. This is just a rough, quick test to see if it works. But basically, I'm going to try and make this kind of 3D video using Blender to do a battle report in. I've made the map, I've made all the models, I just got to animate it all, and actually I got to play the game first, then animate it into Blender and do the voiceover and stuff like that. So I'm kind of doing a lot of Blender work at the moment. That's kind of taking me out of making a lot of videos for YouTube, but I'm hoping to then make some really cool content on YouTube with three-dimensional kind of animations based around Infinity, which I think would be kind of fun. Yeah, that's kind of that's the beginnings of it all. We'll see where that goes. It may take me a while to get that done though. Right now I'm taking Blender courses to learn more about Blender and do things, because I really want to get into making my own models and things and sculpting. Okay, right, well for today though, I think we're going to call it a night, I'm afraid. It's getting pretty late for me. My throat is getting pretty parched because today has been especially heavy on the yellow sand coming over from China. It's kind of wrecking with everyone's respiratory systems at the moment, so I've got to make sure to drink a lot of water. And get a good night's sleep ready for tomorrow. Otherwise, you guys, thank you so much for joining. It was an absolute pleasure, an absolute blast to chat away today. I was not the most productive, but I enjoyed it very much. So thanks very much. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time. I'll be back on Saturday around about the same time. So hopefully I can see you then. Bye-bye.